Live from the City of Angels. It's Monday night. Instant out-of-theater reacts to Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. We can't do an entire review tonight. As you guys know, there is an embargo, so this is not a review. I haven't had one of these in a while. But this is not an official review, but this is sort of like one. Man, I gotta be the guy. Why do I gotta be the guy all the time? Sorry, guys, I gotta be the guy. Paramount is ruining the day they invited me to see Mission Impossible 8 here tonight in Los Angeles. Thanks for being here live. As always, no one's better than us. As you guys know, who's the gold standard? We are. If we say it, it's true. So get ready to be disappointed by Mission Impossible 8. There's no other way to put it, man. I wish I could tell you differently, but as you guys know, I cannot tell a lie. And it's best if you go into this film with the mentality that you are going to be disappointed, because it just doesn't hit the way that MI7 did. If you just want to compare it to the most recent of the Mission Impossible films, you're talking about a film that is weaker across every single standard, across anything that you want to judge it against. When you go 7 versus 8, 7's a better film. No contest, okay? None. Sorry. And if anyone tells you differently, this is one of these nights you got to just disregard their opinions. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this. Don't want to be the guy. Here's the reaction from the tweet sent out just a short time ago. Century City here in Los Angeles. Much bigger fan of MI7 than Mission Impossible 8, which should be titled The Exposition Dump. For the first 2 hours of endless entity. Remember the entity from 7. A lot of entity information overload. Final hour does pick up with the signature biplane scene finish, but it's not enough to make this grand slam finale what you wanted. It's just not as tremendous as I was expecting here tonight. And I think you can tell. I mean, look, guys, this is just exactly the emotion I had as the final credits rolled tonight at AMC Century City. I mean, it just doesn't ever once get to a moment of, and I'm going to coin a term here tonight that you guys have to know, this is from me. No one else can steal it. I'm going to tell you, this will not leave you cinematically erect. You're just not. You're going to be cinematically flaccid. I don't know what to tell you. It's just the reality of the situation. And, you know, I can't really go into all the reasons because, remember, this is not a review. But I will have a long stream, and I plan to do that with Scott Menzel, who has similar thoughts, which is nice because I want to make sure that I'm not the only person who sees the weaknesses here, and there's a lot of them. We're going to go through some reactions out of theater tweets in a moment, and I can react to those because that's not a review, right? This isn't a review either. This is just my reaction in a theater coming out. Thank you, Paramount, for inviting me. But you guys know that when I go, there's no guarantee I'm going to say I like it. Never going to happen. Okay? Also, I want to drive this home. I have never once, in the entirety of every time I have sat down in a movie theater, from way back when I was a little kid to tonight, ever wanted to be disappointed or let down by a film. It's never happened. I have never walked into a film saying, I am ready to savage this. In fact, I think if you guys go back and look at all the streams we have done live here on Midnight Movie Talk, more often than not, it's the opposite, where I say, this film's not going to be good, and then I come out and go, holy shit, I was surprised. Happens a lot. Tonight, the opposite. I was expecting a real, just awesome ending to this. And you don't get it. And that is underwhelming, and it's extremely disappointing. So if you go into this with that mindset, your mileage might vary on the high side. But if you go into this, in a minute, we're going to read some reactions from other people who you can't trust. Okay, I'm going to go through the people you can and can't trust after I go through these reactions here tonight. But what I want to tell you is that if you listen to people telling you this is the best of all 8 films, it does everything to perfection, you are going to come out of this movie and you're going to be like, we live in bizarro world, which I think we can argue we kind of do. But it's rare that I get to be on the front end of this, right? Because typically the studios don't like me to come because I'm going to do exactly what I'm doing here tonight because I'm the wild card. I don't play by the rules. And I certainly don't need to be quoted in an ad campaign. It's happened before, don't care. Doesn't matter to me. But to some of the people here tonight, clearly it does. Because this was the first screening tonight across the country. All of the influencers, there's a lot of them, right? They all got invited here tonight along with the real true pros like me. So thank you again, Paramount. But they love to be quoted. How many people do you see on X/Twitter, their banner is, here's a quote from me that a studio used? Guys, they quoted me for John Wick 4. I called it one of the greatest action films of all time, along with The Raid 2, right? And they used it. People Magazine, Erick Weber. Okay, who cares? Do you think I care? I mentioned that because it's happened. The point is it doesn't matter. But to some of these people, that's the validation. Conversely, I didn't go into this waiting to come on tonight and say, oh, well, I really wanted to trash this film. Who wants to hate on Tom Cruise? Last night, guys, what did we just call him? We called him our Cinema Champion, Hall of Fame entry because of all he does for theatrical and for cinema overall. He is the man. And he's also fucking crazy. I mean, dude, when you get to the biplane scene, and I mentioned that here in the tweet reaction, you're going to be like, this dude, you can never say he is not fully invested in film. And that is why he is a cinema champion here on MMT. But that is not a reason to say this is a great film. I would even argue the biplane scene is going to have you rolling your eyes around going, why are we doing this? This just feels like a stunt to add when you really think about logistics of the bad guy and Cruise and the planes. You'll be like, what? Right? There's a lot of stuff in this movie that'll have you going, wait a second. What if this makes no sense? Okay? But don't think that the characters in this film aren't going to explain everything to you 10,000 times, each of them inputting some piece of the exposition puzzle that you need to remember for the first 2+ hours of this film. I can't say anything else. I'll get in trouble. That's it. That's all I can say tonight for me. But I will go and look at some other reactions here tonight because I've said what I need to say, and I will react to other people's reactions here from X. I don't know who some of these people are, but I will be able to tell you right now who I can trust and who I cannot trust based on these reactions. Sorry, it's the way it is. Let's start with Erick Hardman. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning is very complicated, less action-heavy than you may expect, 100%, and in many ways feels incredibly bloated, 1,000%. Exposition is handled better. Dude, first of all, exposition shouldn't be the entire first 2 hours of characters explaining the situation. as McQuarrie cuts from character to character, explaining questions, asking questions, explaining questions. Holy shit. And when the action is happening, it's jaw-dropping. I mean, the biplane scene's it. There's really, yes, in the abyss when he's going down the submarine. This isn't a review, by the way. Don't forget that. But here is important here. Erick, you earned some credibility here tonight. Some really high highs, which I would even argue there aren't. But here's what he says. Some really low lows. We have ourselves an honest critic. And listen, that's probably not even the right verbiage. We have a talented critic. That's better. Because I think some of these people are being honest. They just suck. Seriously. Do you guys think that Zach Pope, I think, honestly, I'm going to say this as nicely as possible. I think he's one of the stupidest people that's ever entered any space of any kind. I'll read his tweet in a minute. I don't think he has an original thought ever produced inside that dude's brain. Oh, just wait till we get to that. But good job, Erick, whoever you are. Anthony Jenkins, get your fuels ready as Mission Impossible Final Reckoning delivers the most emotionally rewarding payoff of any action franchise. Packed with intense, high-stakes sequences and fun callbacks, nearly 30-year-long series, Tom Cruise, your legend. Way too high. Way too high. Brad Shankar. Final Reckoning is thrilling, emotional, satisfying conclusion. Disagree with all of that. I don't think it's thrilling. I don't think it's all that emotional. It's forced. There's some emotion, but it's very much manipulative emotion, right? And then you have not a satisfying conclusion. It's a conclusion, and it's fine, but it's nowhere near like the best thing that you ever expected for a series finale, for a franchise finish. No way. No. While it drags in the middle, how about it drags for the first 2 hours? Leads to a third act more breathtaking and pulse pounding you can imagine. Totally disagree. Completely disagree. There's the biplane scene. Jazz. Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise is truly one of a kind. Love. Final Reckoning. She always says something positive, so whatever. Drew Munhausen. Final Reckoning ties up loose ends of the franchise while also coming full circle on storylines I never imagined would be revisited. The wonderfully insane stunts are to be expected, but the film really hinges on tension throughout. It's a great time. I would definitely not say it's a great time. Hashtag show. It's a cinematic exercise in increasing stakes, stunts, and length of movies in the series. It's an action-packed and has some truly breathtaking scenes. Guys, hold on. Let's find Zach Pope. I don't want to read any more of these. I only trust Zach Pope. Let's find Zach Pope, and because actually someone was telling me you got to read his. You got to read. By the way, do you know he calls himself on Twitter? He calls himself Pope the King. What's he the king of? The king of reviewing everything and being terrible at all of it? I'm sorry. Always picking on Zach Pope. Too bad. I'll do what I want to do. It's my stream. Zach can do what he wants on his stream where he reviews everything from food to comic books to video games. What else could he review? Has he done a newspaper review? I feel like that's a missing space that he can exploit. It's an emotional, riveting, and perfect Mission Impossible finale. None of that is accurate. That feels the most visceral of them all. With pound-for-pound punches, exhilarating stunts that might be the best of the franchise, and incredible performances throughout. Zach, again, outdoing himself in the hyperbole here tonight. Bad. Guys, I want to tell you it's good. This is my face. Does that look like someone who's thrilled to watch a movie? I want it to be. I drove to Century City. It's a pain in the ass. Do you guys understand driving 40-some minutes to Century City from Burbank? It's a pain in the ass. And then to pay for parking because it's at AMC Century City. I know, right? You'd think they'd comp the park. Nope. Of course, I went early and shared a beverage with Menzel. But I wasn't Gore drinking 17 Trulies. I had one Mick Ultra, which frankly should have made the movie better. It's like nothing. Give me a break, guys. It's like, what is the alcohol content on that? So that had nothing to do with my review. Don't anyone even suggest that shit. But it really should be called the Entity Exposition Dump. That's what the movie should be called. Mission Impossible, The Entity Exposition Dump. That is the new title that I put forth here tonight, live on MMT. Do you think that would sell a lot of tickets? And I'll tell you, listen, this isn't a review, right? As you guys know, so I can say this, and this is not something that I really am excited to say at all. This film is nowhere near $1 billion. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. None. Nope. This is going to be a disappointment for the majority of people who watch it. And they're going to be their patience is going to be tried. 3 hours. First 2 hours, did I mention the Entity Exposition Dump? Oh, over and over. I need this and that, put it together and stop the AI bad guy. I mean, the AI bad guy was kind of a bad idea from start, right? But at least with 7, you were getting around the globe. It had some energy. You had the motorcycle scene. You had the train scene. Everything in 7 is better than 8. I can't say that enough here tonight. You can learn one thing from the stream, one thing, other than the new title, The Entity Exposition Dump. It is that everything in Mission Impossible 7 is greater than everything in Mission Impossible 8, including Tom Cruise's hair, which is long here and kind of looks goofy. He looks better in 7. There's more action, set pieces that rock in 7. This just feels like we're done. But look, we have a callback to some characters. This is kind of turning into a review. Stop, Weber. You're going to get in trouble. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. You want to do a few more? Let's do a few more Mission Impossible. We'll do a few more, and then that stream's going to be over. It's already 11 o'clock out here. It's way past my bedtime. Let's see. Reckoning. I got to search live. Isn't this exciting when Weber's searching on Twitter live for all of you? All right, we already talked about a few of these. Oh, Scott Mans. Let's see what Scotty has to say. Remember, Scott is the king, and I've done this when I use caps, right? Because that means I'm excited about a film. Do you, quickly, before we get to him, is there a single caps in my review? Do you see any word other than the title? That's because when you, on Twitter, it's easier to read a title of a film if you put it in caps. It's not that I feel the Exposition Dump is the title that I put forth along with the Entity. But, right? So there's nothing in caps in this because there's nothing that this movie deserves caps for. But wait a second. We haven't gotten to Mance's. Hey, everybody. I'm Scott Mance. I love everything. Everything's great. Sorry, Scott. I see all these people tonight. I laugh. I walk by. I'm like, if they want to say something, I'm right here. I mean, I really do think that we are inhabited by a space full of really sub-talented at best people. I think that's being kind by saying sub-talented. I would say zero talented, but let's just call it sub-talented for being a little bit on the generous side of things. Light the fuse. Final Reckoning sticks the landing on the Mission Impossible film series. I'm going to read it like him. With the most intense, visceral, emotional, and powerful mission of them all. Tom Cruise does it again with incredible stunts. You really feel the danger. It's awesome in IMAX. I loved it. Scott Mans, everybody. I don't think Scott's a real person. What can I ask you guys just quickly, since we're on the stream, we're live on X and YouTube here tonight. MMT, as always, you guys know, we do not hold back. Would you say that I'm fake? Would anybody out there come in the comments? I'll use it. Has anyone ever called me fake? Whereas Scott Mans, that's the first thing you think. Fake. Phony. Not a real person. Scott, if someone sends you this, it's the truth, dude. Sorry, bro. No one's ever called me fake. They can say he's opinionated, he's out there, he is edgy, no one has ever said I'm fake. I'll take that all day versus, hey, everybody, I love everything. Brandon Norwood. Don't know who that is. Oh, I think we used him before on one of our reaction things. One of the tweets for one other movie, whatever it was. Excuse me, The Final Reckoning is a silly movie. If you dug Dead Reckoning Part 1, you'll probably love this. However, as a fan of the series, I find it corny to try and tie things in the past back up. That's just one of the issues, Brandon, but at least he's not raving about it. Jeffrey Harris, the action sequences are some of the best the franchise ever conceived. I disagree with that 100%. Everything in 7's better. Everything. The underwater sequence had me holding my breath and gasping multiple times. It's Cruise in the abyss. The quality of the visuals and stunts are unparalleled. Is there anybody who's like me other than that first guy? The first guy was good. Everyone else has been like, Brian Long Films. It's a shot of adrenaline straight from Tom Cruise's heart. Oh, there you go. There's a pull quote for a studio, right? It's a shot of adrenaline straight from Tom Cruise's heart. Oof. I mean, seriously, we should start passing out MMT barf bags reading some of this shit. The 3-hour runtime breezes by. Brian, holy shit, dude. He must like sitting on like transatlantic flights, Brian, because it feels like that. It feels like I'm still on my way to New York from LA watching this thing. Set pieces live up to the hype, not to mention the jaw-dropping sequence that is not included in the trailers. The most moving of the franchise by far. It's emotionally a rewarding payoff. No, it's not. One of the funniest vanity projects in franchise history. Okay, I don't know what. Yeah, it's definitely that. Can I say this? And then I don't know how much longer we'll go. A couple comments from you guys, because I know a lot of you are like, Weber's being an asshole again. And I mean, I don't ask to. You guys, I don't step into any film wanting to say, do you guys feel? Can you feel how this is here tonight? When you see me and I come out of a movie that I love, there's a huge difference, right? The energy is like contained. In this film, I'm like, right? You can tell that's the beauty of being real and not phony, is that everything you see here is authentic. And even if you don't agree with me, you can say what he's saying, he believes. And so often in this world, we have people that are so phony, like a man's, or name someone in any field, and they say what they're saying for their tribe or for whatever that may be that gets them some kind of magical prize. I don't have any interest in that. I have zero regard for caring about someone saying, I don't like what Weber said about this. Too bad. What do you want me to say? That I loved it? I didn't. And I've got plenty of reasons. The review stream is going to be really pick this thing apart. I'm not going to hold back. And there's a lot to break apart. And the script is the main issue. The runtime. There's so many things, guys. I can't even. There's just a lot of stuff that just isn't. I don't know if I'm not a big franchise ranking guy, Satvik, but I will say this: that this is nowhere near the top. Okay, 8. Again, 8's behind 7. So wherever you have 7, it's behind. 8's behind 7. So let's say you had 7 number 3. Well, this is 4. Okay, at best. And that's at best. I would say it's one of the weakest. But no, I'm not going to do one of this ranking. I wasn't in love with 7 all that much. Oh, man, then Joe, if you weren't in love with 7, you're really going to dislike 8. Because a lot of you, and I got some reaction talking about the entity, you didn't love that. Well, guess what? That's all we're doing here. We are only focusing on the AI entity that wants to nuke the planet. And if Tom doesn't save the world one more time with the minuscule chance that he has every time, but yet still manages to pull it off, that's what we're dealing with over and over. An entity this and the kill switch that. And oh my God, can we stop the entity from blowing up the universe? You're like, oh, just give me an old-fashioned bad guy, right? I mean, yeah, there's a quasi, but the real bad guy is the AI, which is big bad AI. The pupil, the evil pupil. That's a good point. Someone said MI2. I mean, listen, it's been forever since I've seen Mission Impossible 1 and 2. I didn't do a series rewatch. I'm just comparing this from the most recent in my head, 7. And I'm just telling you guys, it's a worse film than 7. There's not even, no debate. There's no debate. None. And anybody who gets that messed up is damaged. Brain damaged city. That's all I got to tell you. The 7's way better. Agreed on the extreme exposition and less action. Nowhere near 7, not the top. Hey, thank you, Fico. Thank you for someone agreeing. Fico's down in Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken, and he does not like the film, and he agrees with the exposition, less action, And you're just sitting there going, win. And this is why, guys, this is not a review. So Paramount, don't get angry with me. It's not a review. I'm just going on. This is a comment. I'm going off a comment. This is why the film's not getting anywhere near $1 billion, because we're seeing this. The exposition on this film is going to turn people off in a major way. Okay, the average person does not have the bandwidth to withstand the first 2 hours of exposition of this film, talking about AI this, AI that, and all the different ways that we have to shut this thing down and all the different hoops we have to jump through. Your head's going to explode. I had hard enough time for me because, listen, when I go to the movies, I want to be entertained. Yes, I understand. I've got to do some homework. I want to at least be engaged with my brain at some level. But this film makes it unfun. I think that's the big takeaway too. Listen, if I can really bring this down to one word, and this is brutal for me to say. This is as damning as I could probably call any film. This is a deeply unfun film. Okay? Wow. Just think about that for a second. Unfun. How is a Mission Impossible film unfun? 7 has a lot of moments that are fun. A lot of set pieces that are fun. This film feels forced and unfun. The humor, none of it. Dude, I'm telling you, the more I think about this film, the more disappointed I am, and the more you're going to be, and you're going to come back and go, Weber was right again. I hate being on the right side of history so often because I don't want to be the guy that tells you this is disappointing and that you are going to go in and be underwhelmed. I don't want to. How many times have I said that during the stream? We've been on for almost a half an hour. I'm going to go off at 30. 30's it tonight because it's late. I think we've said what we need to say, and Paramount's already going to be pissed because they're going to be like, that was a review. It's not a review. I didn't review anything. We're doing comments, okay? And speaking of clown in a cornfield, I think I'd rather watch that again. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wait, David Elrick. Oh, shit. Do we have to read David Elrick? That guy's he's okay. We've got Sean Fennessy, fraud, and we've got Elrick really close behind. These are two of the most overvalued film voices in the history of film, right? Siskel and Ebert are all time. They deserve everything they get, right? They are the standard. Elrick, some people would say, is like the standard now, and Fennessy. If this is our standard, this explains why the world is so fucked right now. Because we have people like Elrick and Fennessy as the standard. We're the gold standard. Anyone knows that. You guys know that. Because there's nobody who goes as hard as me. Nobody. Certainly not David Elrick. Mr. I don't even have an avatar. Oh, look at me. I've got, well, who is that again, his avatar? Let's find it here. I got to find, how do you spell his name? I don't even remember how to spell it. I'm not a fan of him at all. He's a total fraud. He's one of those New York critics that think they know everything, and he's just, and they actually know nothing. Aren't they the worst people, right? The people, I don't know how you spell it. How do you spell his last name? I honestly don't. Let me go look in the comments again. I'll do this, and then we're, E-H-R, give me a second. E-H-R. I got him finally. By the way, this is how much I think about David Elrick. I have him blocked. That's how little I think of David Elrick. Let's unblock him so we can read some of this shit. He can get, I don't care. Why? I haven't blocked, so I don't have to see his dumb fucking take show up in my stream. Oh, wait a second. Everything I just said about David, I want to beg your forgiveness. Holy shit. Wait a second. Oh my God. This is really bad. Let's read it. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is dull and dysfunctional in a way I didn't think this franchise was capable of. Set pieces are obviously incredible, but as someone so supportive of Cruise Crusade to save the movies and whatnot, this was a massive heartbreaker. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to actually make, okay, Sunday night, we're going to make David, I have to now. Because this is what I do. I admit my mistakes. We're making David a cinema champion on Sunday night for this tweet. In fact, I'm going to do it live here. I'm going to retweet this. I'm going to retweet it right now. It's done. I retweeted it. Everything I said, David, if this gets back to you, it's all forgiven. Please forgive me. This is amazing. This is so accurate. See, this is so accurate. Oh my God. It's so dull and so unfun. Or Ehrlich. Okay, whatever. Sorry, Joe. I can't give you that, Mega YouTube. I can't give you the score because that's a review. We're at 30 minutes. I'll go a couple more comments and we're out of here. Yeah, okay, got it. I found it. But listen, this is dead on. This is dead on. He feels exactly how I felt. So that makes me feel a little better that at least someone else has the balls to say this. And, I think he misses a lot, but I listen, at least he's not fantasy. Let's find fantasy. Let's see what that guy has to say. I'm sure he thought it was great. He was probably in the screening I was in fact, that clown. Fucking clown. All right, here he is. Let's find out what he had to say. Nope, he doesn't have anything. Did he not go tonight? Is he thinking about, what he's probably doing? Fantasy's probably thinking, which way should I go here? Right? He doesn't have the balls to come right out and say it. He's not like me who watched Babylon and was the first person out of the theater to say, holy shit, what a disaster. Right? He's got to be like, which way's the wind blowing? And I'm going to go ahead and jump on that side. So we give David that credit. David will be a cinema champion coming up on Sunday night here on MMT. And that's going to pretty much do it tonight. If I do any more, I'm going to get in trouble. But this is a major, major disappointment tonight. And, come back to me and talk when you've seen this thing in a week and a half. I didn't ruin anything. No spoilers tonight, right? I just need you to make certain that you take into the theater a level of expectation much, much lower than you anticipated, because you are going to need those expectations to be at the bottom for this film to come up to a level where you're going to think it's great. I love movies. I want to see cinema succeed, but I will never say something is great for the sake of cinema. Sorry, make a better film. Do better. Okay? Back on Thursday with, do I have to do this? Final Destination. We'll also do the new Trey Edward Schultz movie with The Weeknd. I will hurry up tomorrow, whatever it's called. We'll do both of those on Thursday. I'm going to see that on Wednesday. I think I'm just going to do a hybrid combo of those two evaluations live. And then probably on Wednesday afternoon, we'll do a live Dead Reckoning Part 2, Final Reckoning. We'll do that with Menzel, and we'll really tear this thing apart. It's got a lot of problems, and you need to be prepared for that. Thanks for being here live, as always, from the City of Angels. MMT is out. See you back here for the review on Wednesday, full on. This was not a review, by the way. Don't forget, not a review. Peace out.